intentionally Dr. Juarez, Dr. Paul Juarez from Harry Medical College. And of course, Dr. Juarez is in the Department of Family and Community Medicine, and he'll give us some additional information in reference to that. And of course, Dr. Juarez, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Thank you, Dr. Haney.
And to tell you, Dr. Juarez, how delighted we are to have you here, because the topic that we are going to deal with this morning is a very, very important topic, considering all the problems that we're having dealing with youth homicide and youth violence and et cetera. And I think in a real sense you bring a new perspective to this, dealing with what you and others have called intentional injuries, and we're going to have you to talk about that. But before we get into that, Dr. Juarez, let's talk about Dr. Paul Juarez, and to have you to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of the things that were important in terms of eventually leading you to us this morning.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll start by saying I never had a clue that I'd end up in academic medicine, and so my pathway to get there has been sort of the road least traveled. My family actually, I was born in the Yakima Valley, and it's up in Washington State, and it's sort of the end of the migrant stream. And so my parents settled in that area and moved to Seattle in my middle school years. My dad got a job over there, and the family moved. But growing up, I, again, never really had any, going to college was always something that was very important to me. And I went to a local state college, Western Washington University, and got my bachelor's in psychology there. And I was excited about education and ended up getting a master's degree, going on to get my master's degree in school counseling. And at that point in time, I thought my career was going to be a middle school counselor. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I didn't last too long, and we had a great program. I love working with young people, but it was very difficult working in a school district. And again, at that time, Yakima was still a very segregated community, and it was a large Mexican-American community, and also a large American Indian. It was on an American Indian reservation, the Yakima Nation. And it was just a very difficult environment to work in. And when I left that, I got into juvenile corrections and did that for a number of years. And